Shall I? Well. CPI comes in hot. I'm telling you. The Fed, wait a second. The Fed has got itself a problem. Anyways, readings come in. Let's just refresh this bad boy, just to put into perspective. Core CPI, which is the major gauge that the Federal Reserve... 0.4%. It's gone up. Month on month, CPI is coming at 0.5%. The inflation year on year is up 3%. So let's be honest now, ladies and gentlemen. Even better, rate swap traders Monday said that they're expecting that May, July, that's when the Fed's going to be cutting interest rates. They've moved that to December now. 1974. I showed you the chart last night. I'm telling you. If they do decide to increase the interest rates because inflation is going to be a bit of a problem for them, I quit. I won't quit, but I will take claim and glory for that understanding that there could be a repeat of 1974, but God forbid that were the case. Now, what we're going to do in today's live stream, guys, we're just going to break it all down on what we can expect. Could Bitcoin get ready for a reversal? The thing is, we've now got another reaction yet. The stock market is yet to open, and they're probably not going to be liking the fact that interest rates are going to stay higher for longer. That means now earnings estimates or anyone that's going to be declaring earnings has a much higher bar to hit. They really do, because that means money is now going to be still more expensive, and how long they're going to hold on for, especially with Powell's wait and see mode. Man, there's your wait and see right there, my friend. You ain't going to be doing nothing, and all we need is the labor market to start showing promise and increasing. I mean, labor market itself, unemployment rate's gone down. This is screaming inflation to go up. That's without the tariffs. Well. Let's break it all down. I mean, NASDAQ, look at that. Let's just put things into perspective, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just quickly show you this, and then I'm going to get down into Bitcoin price action. So I was trading before the CPI data, okay? And this is what I was doing. So to put it into perspective, what I like to do is I like to build positions as momentum works in my favor, okay? And this is what I was doing this morning. I was running a couple of longs here, and then we're building, and then we got the spike up. We closed off our position. So if I just zoom into this to make it a much more easier for you to understand, okay? Now, I was doing that this morning at this point. Then I started to build positions over here, okay? So look at this. I started to go long inside of this range right here, started to add to those longs, added again, and this is all part and parcel of how to scale in with the hybrid system, okay? And in the end, I started to just say to myself, okay, we're getting ready for the news itself. It's starting to spike up. And then I closed off at these highs right here, just in time for news. Could have opened a short, but never mind. You don't want to take that risk. And then, of course, NASDAQ said, nope, let's just go for the downside. And I started taking a couple of scalps just before the live stream. And then happy days. So that was on our live account, and we ended up netting $12,868 for the day. Okay, so let me just refresh that. Just for the guys that are like, it's a fake account and whatever. It's BS, to be honest with you. But yeah, this is the live account. It's just started off with around $5,000. Had about $5,000. Then I went up to about 11, and then I came down to about 7, and now we're back up to 26, and we made $12,868 before the news announcements. Okay. So we exploited that really, really well. Could have opened a short, but I was, 16, 17 contracts deep on the NASDAQ. I had to get out because I just didn't want to do it. I was trading from early this morning. Happy days. We saw the move to the upside and the downside. Now, Bitcoin. Bitcoin. Well, this was a setup that we shared this morning for the guys, and it is a tricky setup to say the least if we just quickly go over to it. And our expectation was, I mean, Euro took a shoe bag and so did gold. But NASDAQ, we were expecting NASDAQ to try and come up to then come down. So we fulfilled that obligation with the move lower. And then, of course, with Bitcoin right here, we had a setup in play. Let me just zoom out on this. Hold on, what the hell? There we go. So we were looking for shorts in and around this range, around the 96, 96,672. It is a hard play because it's before the news announcements, but we are expecting Bitcoin to move down because of a weekly cycle that we've got. And when I do the setups, we're just looking like if we can see Bitcoin moving up, then okay. Like yesterday, I expected Bitcoin to move up. It didn't. It came straight back down. So that was an invalidation of the setup. But this one was to see Bitcoin moving up, resistances at the psychological ranges, to then come back down again to eat that liquidity. And Bitcoin ended up coming all the way down towards 94,099. We had exactly the same setup with Ethereum as well. So if you've got look at that, how they respected that range, man. It's absolutely divine. Here we go. So here is the midpoint of the vector candle right there. You can see the midpoint of the red vector candle, although it had already been recovered, which is what I said, it's where the market's memory can get triggered. And they had moved price all the way up towards that point to effectively bring it back down again. And you know what? When you're trading the news, ultimately, if you're going to take on the risk, then you are going to have to factor in the idea that it could go against you. But for some of the guys, it actually worked out really, really well. And then Ethereum just said nope, and she just made the move to the downside. Now it's starting to get choppy. I didn't take the full profits, but never mind. That works a treat over there. And then for Solana, the same story. I mean, our entry point was pretty key right here with Solana. She did move up towards that point. And you can see here that she came up towards that region, round about here, and then rolled over. So when the setups work, they pay out really, really well when you capture the move. Okay, so well done to anyone that did exploit that. Anyone interested in that, that's part of the Platinum membership, which you can take advantage of over here, which just go to memberships, click Platinum membership, and you get access to all this fun and games with the hybrid system. But if you are new, make sure that you do the free course because it gives you the breakdown of it all, everything, okay? Now let's get back to Bitcoin. What's going on with this absolute nut job? Let's get into understanding what is going on across the board. Bitcoin goes down and eats that liquidity, ladies and gentlemen. It's coming closer and closer towards that wick. What a story. Now, the problem that we've got, guys, is now that CPI data has come out, going into it all, we have Powell speaking. Oh, bloody hell. He's speaking again. Definitely not trading today. I am done. And I'm going to tell you that now. If Trump starts speaking, step away from your charts. At least they're kind enough to let us know that Trump is actually talking. What's he talking? Where is he talking? Wait there. Hold on. He's going to hold a press conference about his latest executive orders. Oh, my God. Listen, guys, being straight with you now, and it's tentative, so it means at any moment he could just come out and be like, let's start talking about tariffs. So you've got to be very, very careful. Now, some of you are like, yeah, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, but Trump's speaking. And if the stock market doesn't like what Trump has to say, then the market's just literally going to continue to roll over. We'll go over to the NASDAQ. You can see it's just getting ready to break down a very significant range, coming back into the Asian session range itself. And we've got very interesting points down below, guys, which the market might be heading towards if it does decide to roll over to that point. I mean, we just go over to NASDAQ setup over here to see where we are. Okay, so, yeah, we're pretty much heading towards that room. We've had that first target taken right there. Where is it? Yeah, 21,714, and we are now 21,526. So they've eaten those targets right there. Logic says that you'd be expecting a little bit of a recovery back up. Even volumes just spiked up right here. So logic says you would anticipate a little bit of reversal, but because Trump's speaking later on, be very careful, guys. Be very careful because he can say something that's going to rock the marketplace. Do you want some good news in cryptocurrency? Check this out, man. Look at this. We have got, get that. Franklin Templeton, he registers a Solana trust, may be bringing the ETF. That's great news for cryptocurrency, but Solana falls. Of course it does. There. Next, BlackRock says that Bitcoin is risk off. This is very important. When BlackRock says that Bitcoin is risk off, what does that mean? What does it mean? That, don't buy it? Not at all. It means that if Bitcoin is a risk off asset, it means it's an asset you go to when you want to take off risk. So imagine you've got NASDAQ, right? What is that? That's a risk on asset. Put your money into NASDAQ, anticipate, speculate, future price is going to go higher. Happy days. But say you don't want to be involved in NASDAQ, or inflation has gone up. That's not going to be looking good for tech companies because the yields are going to be going up. Let's have a look at the yields for a split second. Where are we at with the good old yieldage? Wait a second. I'm telling you, man. This is why, right? Listen, this is why I have got this ETF portfolio, okay? This is why I've got this ETF portfolio, and it's packed with bonds. I've got the bond market ETF, go away. Bond market ETF, I've got the Vanguard dividend appreciation, dividend ETF, sorry. And then you've got Vanguard real estate ETF and got the tech one right there, okay? And my weight on my bond is most of the capital is allocated to the BND, okay? Why? Because once the 10-year yield gets to 5%, you are going to see an influx of madness from the bond traders because they will love a 5% yield on the 10-year. That is locking it in. So we would logically expect the bonds to shoot up from that point. At the same time, the yen would also rise. At the same time, the dollar would also drop. At the same time, the euro will make a move to the upside. Look, man, we wet the bed with euro, man. News play, we wet the bed with it. But maybe could see a little bit of recovery. Who knows? But we wet the bed with euro. But that's where we are right now, ladies and gentlemen. Going into the volatility index. When it's high, you buy. So you got to be very cautious. But because, listen, if Trump wasn't talking today, I'd say about 75% chance that everything would reverse, in my opinion. But it all depends on what Trump's going to say, which could lead the volatility index to shoot up even a bit more. So even though when I say it's high, you buy, it could continue higher. And the market has yet to factor in the results of the CPI data. You've got 15 minutes until that comes into play. Quickly going over into the bond, into Bitcoin right now to understand where we are. Go to the daily time frame. So yesterday we said, do not buy until. And if you did stick to that narrative, you wouldn't be part of this process where Bitcoin's going down and you're losing money at the same time. Ideally, you want to wait until Bitcoin gets above the 50 EMA over here. Now, this is for the spot traders. What about the actual guys who like to leverage trade? Well, let's go and have a look at those bad boys. Well, we got ourselves a little bit of flavor down here at 94,500. $485 million worth of long liquidations going into the order flow. Now, let me just draw your attention to this. In front of you, I have got, might look a bit clustered, but in front of you, I have got here, this is the open interest footprint, okay? So it's an open interest delta profile. So that tells me where there is buying and where there is selling, okay? I haven't changed it for the green figures just yet because I like to flip it. When there is selling, there is buying. When there is buying, there is selling, okay? Actually, let me just make sure I've done that. Hold on a second. Let me just go to the settings. Sell volume is that, buy volume is that. Okay. Yeah. So realistically, you want to change that the other way around to see where there is buying and where there is selling. Okay. So selling would be flipped and I will turn that to green. Okay. And then I will change the buying down to red. Okay. Delta. We'll keep that. No, that's going to be green. Make that green on the delta. No, it's the opposite, sorry. Yeah, but it's negative deltas. It's negative color. Okay, that one. And then the buy delta, that will be green. No, it has to be the opposite. Yeah, it's the opposite, sorry. Forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. There we are. Change that setting. Bang, save that. Okay, cool. So the idea is this. Where it's red, they're selling. Okay, where it's green, they're buying. In the sense where when price is going down, okay, they are effectively buying up. It's really confusing to show it you because the colors aren't making sense right now. I don't understand that. But anyways, this is the open interest delta profile. And the logic says, let me just reset that just to put it into perspective, man. Reset, done. Let's just work on the opposite. You can see here that they're doing all the buying here, all right? So it's green, 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 okay? As it's going lower because they're hitting the bids, right? It makes a little bit of a reversal, comes back up into this sell range. It rolls over. Have we seen the buying just yet? Well, there's not that much buying down here, okay? It's just a sweep. There's been a lot of buying up here, but those liquidations have come down. So they've now liquidated those traders. That also means now that we have got some more interest on the bid side. So we go down low and we can see 23 million at 90,308.83. You got 2.7 million at 92,000. Going closer into the book itself. What was that? Oh, Canada's LeBlanc says we don't do tariffs before the US does. Okay, so Canada is scared. 2.6 million, 1 million, and then we go over into that. Yeah, 94,000. I mean, we really need to see a profile of Bitcoin coming in because there's a lot of bids that have been taken up in here, which would naturally then lead Bitcoin to come back up. But look at the way they're behaving. It's very, very choppy. All right. Naturally, you're going to be expecting Bitcoin to try and attack these ranges. These are the next significant points in the chart for Bitcoin. Okay. Now, if you're looking to try and get Bitcoin on a discount, just be very careful. All right. There could still be more room for Bitcoin to roll over. Quickly going over to the Coinbase Premium Index to understand where we are over there. It's coming down. Yesterday, it was all green. Buy Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin. I'm telling you, you do not buy Bitcoin when this is green. You don't. All right? And if anyone's like, don't be silly, Tino, it's a good metric to read. All right, just go back and look at this. And wherever it is red, all right, everyone is wetting the bed. Don't buy, don't buy. They're selling, they're selling, they're selling. Okay? The ideal is that you want to wait for it to go into, Tino. The ideal is this, right? You want to wait until price goes into the red, okay? This is really for short-term day traders and, of course, holders as well. But you want to see and spend as much time in the red as possible with the intention of it coming back up to the median line right here. Then you should be in a position before it gets back to that red, to that midpoint. Then as it goes up in the green, you're seeking liquidity. You're looking to sell it, right? So do the opposite. Look at all this buying up here when Bitcoin was at these highs, and then it just rolls over and just takes out all those people, you know? Use this chart, man. It's just look at it from a flip side point of view, okay? Questions. Any questions? Any questions? Trade war, Bitcoin to 64.74 first. There are more longs than shorts. Liquidations trying to annoy the living daylights out of common investor. What do you think about Saki's claiming BlackRock is suppressing Bitcoin prices at the moment? Look at the frequency of buying and selling that BlackRock is doing. Think about it. Is it really suppressing price? Given that it does hold a 5% stake in strategy, all right, do you think it's suppressing? Why would it be suppressing? BlackRock's only been buying. That's not suppression. That's great news. What suppression is buying and selling? Moves up, comes down. Moves down, goes up. You know, if you want to know about suppression, trade XRP. That's one thing for sure. Any other questions, guys? This is the last phase of distribution. Tino, how's Tina? I don't know how she is, whoever Tina is. Please, can you link that chart and when to buy? It's just go to cryptoquant.com. That's where it is. Here we are. Here we go. We got something here. Hold on. Someone's saying something about Trumpage. Let's have a look. Is Trump pushing inflation higher to justify quantitative easing to weaken the dollar? He don't want to weaken the dollar. He wants the dollar strong. Yeah? Because when the dollar's strong, it means everyone's using the dollar. It means you've got a better yield on the dollar. More money going back into the United States. He doesn't want a weak dollar. If you've got a weak dollar, where are you going? To the yen. You don't want a weak dollar. Where are you going to go? To the euro. You don't want that. You want everyone in dollars. If Bitcoin is not a future market, is not a futures market, how does the price move so fast on news? Liquidity, man. It's just leverage. It's just orders being filled, speed. It's the market maker's passport to do whatever it wants. All right. If you really dive into it all, you've got to make sure that you're aware of what's going on with regards to market makers and dealers in terms of delta, you know, delta neutral, gamma negative, you know, delta. You could have some market makers right now that are short on Bitcoin, and then all of a sudden Bitcoin starts to go up. Well, to offset the hedge themselves on Bitcoin going up against their short, they'll go gamma negative, which means they'll buy Bitcoin on spot and wait until it gets to the point where it looks like it's going to start coming down again. They would have hedged themselves, and then they'll just remove the actual hedge, and then Bitcoin starts to roll over, even add to the position. That's what market makers do, and that's all about options and what have you. Weak dollar means debt is easier to pay off. What if he wants to pay off the debt? This is true. it does mean weak dollar, easier to pay off the debt, but you're increasing it even more with these tariffs. The debt ceiling is yet to be discussed. They want to increase it yet again. They really do, and that's going to be another one for the books. Peace T, Trump posted, Biden inflation up. Is that what he put? Holy wow. There you go. Biden inflation is up. That is crazy. Let me just see that. Oh, hold on. Mexico's president says that they're going to be sending a message to the White House on steel and aluminum tariffs. Let me tell you something, guys. It is a very exciting time to be alive in the marketplace, but it's not exactly exciting if you're on the wrong side of a tariff announcement. Let me tell you that. Just be very careful with it. When altcoin season, Tino. I know most of you are in your altcoins, man, but seriously, your altcoins are at a discount right now. I mean, what more of a discount do you need? There's club discount. There's OAP discount. There's the state discount. There's bloody discount for discount for discount. But why don't they just give you the coins? Just give them out. Airdrop absolutely every single altcoin. Now it's getting to a point of being embarrassing to even admit to buying an altcoin. No, it's oh God, it's just crazy. Look at the 10-year yields over the last hour. I did look at the 10-year yields over the last hour. They are looking very, very thrive. This is the bonds. Forgive me. Ah, my days. Wonderful, isn't it? Nice shoot up. Tina, can you explain the logic before your scalping today on the longs? I could see a small W formation, but how could you tell that it was coming up only to bring it down? How could you tell? Look, man, it's not a case of how you can tell. It's about trading the ebb and flow of the market, okay? So here was where I started building my plays, okay? So just for anyone that is new passing through, that is on a live personal account, and we made $12,868 today on a live account. It's not funded. It's just a live account. Refresh this. There we go. There you are. That right there. And this is what we did. Sorry, it's BS that I have to do that, but that's the environment that we're in. Anyways, so started building my longs here because I saw NASDAQ pull back down. At around this time on XO charts, there was an imbalance further up that I was expecting them to go to, okay? So I started building the longs here. As they started to climb higher and higher, I was on the expectation that they were going to start floating front-running price to the upside to give the idea that everything's looking good with the CPI data, okay? And that's what they did. That led me to actually load up and go long here again. So I added to it. Added another 2 contracts, added another contract right there. And then I said to myself, okay, we're getting close towards news announcements. And then I closed off at the highest point right here, because that's what you do. You close at the highest point. You sell from the highest point. Could have taken shorts, but I didn't want to play that because I needed to get ready for my live. So we had 2, 3, 7, 12, the 14. Yeah, 18 contracts on the NASDAQ. So we built 18 contracts on the NASDAQ. And yeah, I was in on margin, heavily margined. Not heavily margined, but we had about, it's 1,000, so 18,000 as I was going in, okay? And then she just made the drop to the downsides. And that's how we did it, And it's just trading the logic of the hybrid. Just go back into it. Go over to the NASDAQ to put it into perspective for you. So just go in, 1 minute time frame. And this is what I was looking at, this range right here. So they had come and swept the Asian session low. So I was like, okay, start building your longs. Came down, recovery, cool, built, played. They moved up, red vector, fell to break below. Next candle confirms, up she goes. Daily open, previous high, take it, add to it, swept that range, swept the Asian range, and we sold off at the highest point with an M formation in principle. Bang. And then she just said, see you later, and ripped to the downside. And that's where that is. Bro, Bitcoin doesn't care. BR doesn't care if Bitcoin, BlackRock doesn't care if Bitcoin is 60 or 100K. They buy anyway. This is true. Yeah, BlackRock does not care. Again, BlackRock does not give a damn about your Bitcoin being at a specific price because you are the crypto bros. It doesn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. They don't care. They really don't care. And the sooner you come to accept that, the easier it's going to be for you to say, you know what, I'm going to come to the chart with a conviction. I believe Bitcoin's going to go up from this point. If I place a spot trade right now and it goes up to 96,200, I pick myself up nearly a $2,000 move. Pay yourself, walk away. What's wrong with that? Tell me what's wrong with that. How many of you are all in a position to buy and sell Bitcoin in terms of spot? How many of you do it? Type 1. If the economy is so good, why is everything so bearish? Because it's expensive to operate. That's why. The economy seems like it's all good. But in terms of stock-bond ratios, stocks are overvalued in comparison to the bonds. Okay? That's my play. I'm playing on the bonds being at such a discount and waiting for the yields to hit 5%, primarily the 10-year yields, because once 5% gets hit, that is literally a yield bond trader's wet dream. Really is. There you go. How are these moves not already priced in? Surely all these algos, massive quant firms should have priced inflation in long before the news released. They have. They did price it in. If your expectation is that the news is bad, so what are you doing? You're selling, you're selling, you're selling. Who are you selling to? You're selling to the dudes that are buying. Why is it before every bad move that happens, it always starts off with a move to the upside? Because everyone is committed in buying. Yay, Bitcoin's pumping. That's not a shoe bag, that's a rucksack. You know? Pretty sure Trump said he wants to lower the dollar's cost too. Listen, the dollar's appreciation is down 25% from its purchasing power. That's something you've got to remember. All right. So the dollar is just done. Okay. But again, the tariffs are really going to put things into perspective. We go over to oil for a split second, and you can see that oil also has taken a bit of a nosedive to the downside. But the dollar dominance, it seems to be holding out right now with this big push up. So investors are coming out of assets and going into cash. Gas is just going up. Commodities are going up. Oil, gold is now making a very sharp recovery back up. Hedge fund managers are actually now playing that logic. Okay, so they've been buying it, hedging for the next event. Inflation going to be higher. Interest rates are going to get cut later on, so there's not going to be that much activity. Dollar yen, it's moving up. Dollar yen to those intervention ranges. Japan are going to start coming in and saying they're going to cut the interest rates. Increase the interest rates, which naturally means that carry traders are going to feel the pain of it. So we've got this reversal back down. It looks like we have got W formation, drop level 1, rise up level 2, retrace M formation, drop down. Yeah, I expect the Japanese yen to continue lower on the back of the strength of the dollar. So yeah, you've just got to be very careful, guys. We could be getting into another carry story. Bitcoin will be rolling over on that instance, in my opinion. Tino, you were loving Trump before. What do you think now? Listen, I love the guy. He's cool. But whenever he steps into my arena and starts talking shit, that's when I hate it. I've been burnt before with Donald Trump. That dude cost me nearly 100 grand in a single day because he said, relationships with China are looking all good. I was short on the dollar, right? And it was when there was a China-US trade issue back when he was in power, okay? And the dollar was going down and down and down and down. And I was short, 15 lot sizes, 20 lot sizes, in, at about 25 positions, man. I was in. Easy 60K in profit. He said, one blood. And I was washing cups. I was at my sink. I was like, you know what, today I'm going to wash my hands and clean my cups. Just made my cup of tea. I got my MT4 in front of me and I'm trading. Yeah, man, watching it, just printing money. Quickly tap another short on there, 20 lot sizes, bang. And then all of a sudden, I just see this wick. What is that? Nothing to worry about. And then it shoots up. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I'm trying to dry my hands and I can't close off. I can't close all my positions off on iPhone when you're using MetaTrader. On Android, you can. But on iPhone at the time, I couldn't close all my positions at once. By the time I went upstairs to my computer, man, I had wiped myself clean, all because he said things are looking good with China. And you're now part of it. So whenever he starts talking, you make sure. Don't look at MACDs. Don't look at anything else. Any indicators on TradingView other than Trump's tweets. That's it. Because that's going to tell you if whatever you're looking at is going to go up or down. It really is. You want evidence of that? Look on Friday. Look what the NASDAQ did. Non-farm payrolls, it came down. Then you were expecting a little bit of a recovery back up. It came through. Then all of a sudden, Trump turns around and says reciprocal tariffs and everyone's going to get it. Bang! NASDAQ said, nope. And I was looking at it. I was like, never mind. So yeah, that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we are with crypto. Ultimately, The day itself is going to be waiting for Trump to come out and tell us what he's going to be telling us about these actual tariffs. You've got Waller speaking later on tonight. And if Waller turns around and says, yeah, we might actually have to keep the interest rates as they are, I'm telling you now, the second they utter the word about increasing the interest rates, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to have all hell breaking loose. All hell breaking loose. Hey, Tino, where do you think gold is finding resistance? Finding resistances. Do you think CPI coming in hot, people going to keep going for that safe haven? Looks like an M formation, or is it a retrace to the all-new time high? I'm going to update the platinum members. I know you're a member, so I'll get that over to you, my friend, and let you know. How you got your chart so clean to show how your settings with just green boxes. Mine is gray and red also looks different. And you might be running 2 instances of the settings. So just check that out. It doesn't tell you what time Trump speaks. It doesn't tell you. It's tentative. And when it's tentative, it could be at any moment. So just make sure you're keeping an eye on anyone on YouTube that might be live streaming it. Just keep an eye. I'm telling you, keep an eye out and wait for him to finish talking, then start trading. All right? Increase interest rates, find a rock for 3 to 4 months. This is true. Trump, ordinary shark, a shark swallow you whole. Yep. The open interest indicator is right here. So if you go to indicators and you go down to footprint, it's this one, open interest delta profile. That one there. Click that one. Okay. All right then. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to like and subscribe. It costs you nothing. Become a platinum member. It's pinned to the top of the chat. Trump's going to be talking. Please don't trade. I'm serious. Don't. Because you're just going to see madness unfold. But whatever it is he has to say, I'll be breaking down a video later on tonight to keep you guys in the loop. Take care of yourselves, gang. Mad love and respect. Peace.